Okay, so last time we played, you guys had started off in just coming through the arcane gate from the astral plane into the UnderRog, and you came into a room that looked like an ancient, ruined ritual site where there was a gate, a stone gate that had been decayed around you, and furnishings on the wall and etchings on the wall of some importance, but it had been so ancient that parts of the natural cave had kind of started taking over again. And you guys started exploring and found a passageway out, and over a course of a few days, trekked through a secluded section of the UnderRog, where you were coming to terms with the desolate kind of environment, getting used to the idea that food and water is not as abundant as it once was. However, after a few days of Brynn's survival skills in combination with Kelnozz's familiarity with the UnderRog, you guys started finding sources of food, fungus and moss that was also giving some water. During this time you guys were traveling, you kept noticing that there were tremors and very kind of, at first, distant earthquakes in the ground. But as you got further and further in the Underdark, or the UnderRog rather, these tremors were getting a little bit more serious, at one point causing a rock slide to crash down and injure Kelnozz as you guys were traveling. We had a quick encounter one night with some Grix, some large worm-like creatures that had ambushed you guys while you were trying to rest. And later on that day, you encountered a large cliff slash pile of rubble leading up to a 150 tall precipice where you're able to see the cavern continued on. And using a combination of amazing dexterity and wizardry and tricks and such, you guys were able to make pretty quick work out of the cliff face. And that's where we ended off. You guys were basically just getting up at the top of the cliff, and basically had spent your day traveling. So at this point, I'd say you guys have anything else you want to do during the quote-unquote day, which would become hard for you guys to track. Having no sun to track the days, you're really only guessing by your 8 hours of traveling, 8 hours of sleeping. So there's plenty of other time to do other stuff if you guys want.
I could do my daily prayers to Maraganor to guide us using that cleric spell for a day. So I'll just roll a quick old 1d100 here. Nope.
Alright.
We're well fed, I assume, and so forth so far.
Yeah, we had lots of food.
Yeah.
We got
Or
a
it was
couple
a day
days.
or two.
I think, yeah, I seem to have some notes here. 2 rations, 1 water.
You guys found lots of, thanks to Brynn's ability to forage really well, you guys did find lots of food and water. You're limited to how much you can carry though. So just make sure in your notes, the food is really not a huge issue because you guys can carry probably X amount of food. You don't have to worry about it. But in terms of water, unless you guys have a different way of carrying it, you're limited to about a gallon each in your water skins.
Alrighty.
Didn't we, or maybe it was the day before, we found 2 gallons each and we drank one and then stored one?
I have 1 stored, so I assume that's probably right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we chugged it back and took a leather skin each or something.
So we'll have to find more water tomorrow.
How many food rations did we have each as well? Was it just one more day's worth? Sorry, I didn't mark that down.
I think in terms of actual rations, you guys are probably out, but you have X amount of pounds of. Just pulling up the mushrooms. Barrel stock,
Oh,
I think
the
it was
mushrooms.
called. Yeah.
And we needed to eat how much a day? It was a pound a day or 2 pounds a day?
That's right. Medium creatures need a pound of food a day.
Okay.
And if you eat half of that. Oh no, that's the water rules. If you drink half of your water of a gallon, then you have to do a Constitution saving throw. The rules are in Discord if you scroll up a little bit. Yeah, I posted them last week.
But I've got your pretty face on my screen instead. How do I get back to the chat?
Just
I click on general with the hashtag.
Okay, well, if nobody else has any other things or activities they want to do other than resting, then you guys can figure out how your resting is going to work.
Yuck, will sleep tonight, as always.
I will take a watch, as always, for half, and sleep for the other half.
Alright.
Kelnozz can take the other one.
Okay.
I think I've
Yeah,
fixed my webcam by putting on my headphones, if that makes any sense.
Doesn't
Ooh.
Alright,
It is blue,
so
though.
what we'll need is just a perception check from each of the guys standing watch.
Oops.
So if Ryan does his watch first, then do I, as Kelnozz, I've already done my rest by the time I do my watch, so I have full hit points and everything.
Yes.
Perfect. Perception, you say? Oh yeah.
Alright. The night passes by without any encounters or any visitors.
Sweet.
Okay. So you guys have yourself here in a marching order with some roles assigned to what happens during the day during the traveling. We can try change that up if you guys want.
Brynn, perhaps you could use your innate abilities to...
Yeah, I'm gonna Deanna Troy the area for the next 5 miles. Especially get how they're feeling, what their mood is, maybe what they're eating currently, what they're wearing.
You attune your senses, and as you guys are kind of getting ready for the trip or for your days of traveling, you don't sense anything near you.
Okay. So I believe Kelnozz was navigating us through this area, knowing something about it, while I continue to forage and watch for threats.
Okay. So Kelnozz will continue to navigate. First, he'll just do like a standing backflip, just to like make sure his backflips are working for today.
All right, let's get the acrobatics check. It's a serviceable backflip.
Yeah, it was a little wobbly on the landing. Just stretches a little bit more.
Okay, well, if you guys are happy with your rolls here, then you guys can start the day of traveling, which we would need a survival check from Kelnozz and Brynn and Grage. Okay. Kelnozz is able to bring you guys through the UnderRog during this section pretty easily, keeping you guys aware of any potential hazards as you go through. Unfortunately, Brynn is not able to find any food or water during your trek today. And about 6 hours into your trek, Grage finds some tracks and brings Brynn over. And Grage, you can tell that it looks like a giant has recently passed through this area.
Ooh.
Fuck me sideways. Brynn, take a look at this. Looks like some sort of giant has walked through here. I can fit both of my feet in one of these little footprints.
Little footprints.
Sorry, my feet are down in these big footprints.
Well, let me take a closer look at what we might be dealing with here. Can I examine the footprints more closely? See if I can tell more about the giant? Potential giant?
Sure, rate me a better of your investigation or nature check.
Nature check?
Or investigation, whichever you prefer.
Either one I'm not very good at. So, nature. Whew. Might just be a log that's fallen nearby. I can't really tell.
From all these trees that are growing.
Yeah.
This
Strange pattern moving forward.
Yeah, Brynn, there's no doubt in your mind this is a giant, but you can't tell what kind of giant or any kind of revealing nature about it other than the size.
I can tell you this, Grage. He was pretty giant.
That's why you were my second in command. So useful. So did the tracks just stop, or do they turn around and go back? Like,
So when you came across these tracks, they do lead to a side passage where where the tunnel seems to get a bit wider and bigger. So it was not in the direction that Kelnozz was initially bringing you guys through, but you found a track leading in a specific direction.
has anyone else eaten giant before?
Eaten
I
giant.
Are we opposed to this?
Well, giants are giant, ugly creatures. Vile beasts. Murdered my family.
Oh, I didn't know your backstory.
Oh, I detest giants.
Well,
You should, in all that is good and holy, go after this giant and eradicate it from this earth, whichever plane we're currently on, as reality slips away from me. I say we hunt him down, in Moraganor's name.
We could be chasing giants around all week. We should be making our way to the surface as quickly as possible.
You'll let
We don't know
evil
the
just
right way.
wander around?
Maybe the giant knows the way to the surface. We could interrogate him.
Tie him up.
Kelnozz said that only the elves know the secret ways to the surface world.
Well, we weren't able to find any food, so giants, I assume, have a large appetite. They probably have a good amount of food on them, too.
Can Kelnozz do a... Does Kelnozz know anything about giants in the UnderRog? What kind of giants might be down here?
Have Kelnozz do a nature check, please.
-1.
Kelnozz knows very, very broadly that many giants make their homes underground, and many have come into the Underdark. The ones that are very especially prevalent are fire giants and stone giants. You could probably, he says that hill giants are likely to be found closer to the surface, and that those are the main giants that you typically find in the UnderRog.
Alright.
There he is.
I just want to see if my camera's better than Field's.
Definitely is.
There's no chance it's better
Pitch
than
black
mine.
dark.
It's built in, so.
Let's have everyone make a perception check, please. Ryan, you might have been muted.
Kelnozz.
Maybe can't hear you, Ryan.
Oh yeah. So Eikooc was the one who got the
Alright. Eikooc, you notice that not far from where the footprint is a small pile of wood. And the wood has a very strong fermented odor coming from it.
Look at that. Wood with a fermented odor. I don't know what to make of that. Some sort of... Brynn, what do you make of that? Ryan, like nobody can hear you. You've been gone for a while.
But his webcam is working perfectly.
Yeah, your webcam is now connected to your microphone.
I can see him mouth the words and ask if we were just fucking with him. Right? And he smiles, and it's so hard not to smile back anyway.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my god, this thing.
That's what you get for buying $4 parts.
Hey, it was $20, $22, I think.
That's good money.
Free shipping. Free shipping. It only took 4 months to arrive. Like,
That's why the shipping was free, Ryan. What have we
Ridiculous.
learned about
like it got
free
to a point
things?
where I like emailed them and I was like, so what's the deal here? Like, it's been 3 months. And they're like, oh, our return policy is 90 days and you're at 94 days. So hopefully you get it. Like, thanks, New Egg. Get out of town.
Get out of town.
Out of town.
I thought you ordered it from Alibaba or Wish or something.
No, so it was from Newegg. However, it wasn't like Newegg proper. It was, you know how a lot of companies are doing that like drop shipping thing. It's like Newegg Marketplace. So I go and order it, and then afterwards when I get the invoice, I'm like, who is like Act Egg or something like that? I'm like, I don't know what that is. And I look it up, and it's like, oh, we're drop shipping it from Wuhan. Like, you'll maybe never receive this. Thank you for your donation.
Yeah, you gotta watch out when you buy from that marketplace shit. It's a
Yeah.
lot less,
I didn't realize what was happening. Like, I was basically just like, what's the cheapest webcam?
Where's the download button?
Go. Where's the download button? Buy now, buy now.
Even on the Walmart website, like if you order online off Walmart, you can run into the same thing.
Yeah, they have the same thing where they're like
Best
drop
Buy,
shipping.
most of the places.
Yeah.
Amazon.
Alright, is anyone going to take a closer look at this pile of wood?
Yes.
Yeah.
I take it.
we
I'll
light it on
I'll
fire.
let Brynn do it.
Okay, so
Brynn.
you're going to take a closer look, make an investigation check.
Brynn, don't lick the wood or anything.
Well, it's fermenting.
As you
Only-
go, as you get closer, you can see it's clearly a shattered barrel.
Oh,
Brynn, however, is
quite
unfamiliar
see that.
with what this. What
unfamiliar with both barrels and wood.
But Brynn is unfamiliar with what the apparent contents were. Except that it smells like something that's been strongly fermented.
Well, this could be brew. Kelnozz. Can't pass up a floor brew, could you?
Floor brew. Get that
Ground
sweet
brew.
floor brew.
That sweet, sweet floor brew.
Kelnozz will dip his finger and just give it a little lick just to see what's going on.
Oh
You
no.
wanna lick the wood?
It's it's
You gotta at least suckle it. I mean, you gotta get right
it's
in
like
there.
the
It's good that you
fermentedness.
went there.
He breaks off a splinter and chews it a little bit.
Is it heavy? Can I bring it with us?
It's shattered. It's shattered.
Can I
wood.
bring it? Can I bring a piece with me?
Uh,
Like a torch-size piece?
Yeah, certainly you could take a few planks.
More importantly, what does it taste like?
Kelnozz, after he takes a look of it, he starts like panting a little bit, and you can see sweat pop out on his brow. And he says that it's a liquor. It's a spicy liquor that Durgar will brew.
Ooh, Durgar.
Is there
Well,
enough
if
liquor in the surrounding ground that Kelnozz could collect?
By sucking on rocks.
I'm just trying to roleplay. I'm just trying to roleplay for Kevin here.
It makes perfect sense.
He's gonna watch the video later, so
This is how he would play it. Kevin's right on the money.
Well, how long would you like him to try for?
suckle him.
Yeah, like he's gonna
Switch
try
on the
to
ground.
extract any sort of alcohol out of this situation as he can, and he's gonna tell the group using his incredible deception that this is really important to their current mission. This is actually a
Mission
magical.
critical.
This is a magical liquid that will help them lead them out of the UnderRog.
Okay.
I think we're all forgetting something. Where there's liquor, there's civilization. We must be close to something.
Kelnozz is going to do a
Excellent.
sleight of hand check for that, please. I just did a
Bob's
look.
funny face.
Alright, so over the next hour or so, Kelnozz uses his cloak to ring up the spicy liquor and then wring it out into his water skin.
Kelnozz, are you done with that yet? We have to be on our way.
I think I've got everything. Yep, I'm happy. Kelnozz takes a swig.
Alright.
Cheers.
I don't know what you're so cheery about. We're still lost in the UnderRog.
But with this drink, I know the way out. Follow me, and I continue to lead.
Oh,
Are we
excellent.
going towards the giant, or are we going towards the other way?
Are there two different ways that we can go?
Yep.
What was it?
Sure.
One way just wandering, and the giant's tracks lead somewhere?
Kelnozz is bringing you guys in what he roughly believes is the right direction for trying to find his way, like trying to find a familiar part of the UnderRog, basically. And with the help of Grage's looking for track, Grage found a part where a part that Kelnozz had initially overlooked, and tunnels that widened out and got much bigger, and the giant tracks seemed to go in that direction.
Kelnozz very confidently says, "This way," and he follows the giant's direction.
Very well. Let us follow our glorious leader, Kelnozz.
Alright, well, if Kelnozz is going to be the one following the tracks, he needs to make a tracking check.
Well, are there like multiple ways these tracks are going, or is it just
It's
like
like
a
you have to
tunnel that
keep
we're
the
following?
track.
It's like,
Well, it depends how
up
far
until
you
now,
travel.
it's really just going to be one tunnel. Yeah, I'm not sure that I'm following the tracks. I'm just going in the direction the tracks went.
If we'll put it this way, if you don't make an active effort of keeping the tracks, that you'll just lose them, right? And you can walk in a direction, but you won't necessarily find this giant if that's what you're aiming to do.
Well,
So-
for Brynn, we should find this giant and slay it.
Oh,
Alright.
that's a given. That's what we were doing.
Okay.
Just hunting down this giant. If
All
we're
right,
gonna
Brynn,
follow his track.
All right, you've convinced me. All right, I will. So what am I making?
Well, whoever wants to be the one who kind of takes charge of following the tracks and leading the group can roll the survival check to do so. So you guys can choose who to be. It doesn't have to be Kelnozz. In fact, some of you are significantly better at tracking giants than others.
Yeah, I'll track the giant. Absolutely.
Okay,
I
go
tracked
ahead
the
and
giant.
roll your survival check with advantage.
So, 15's okay. So far, no good rolls.
So Brynn starts taking you guys through the tunnels following the tracks, and you get to a very large cavern full of these massive mushrooms that are mostly 30 to 40 feet high, and they have these like grain-like spores attached to them. And this part of the cavern becomes very much larger than the sections that you've seen before. And Brynn loses the tracks not too much further in on this cavern. So what I need you guys now to do is make a... Actually, with EX passive perception, as you guys are exploring this cavern and taking over these massive giant mushrooms, you hear in the distance the echoing sound of a massive belch.
Ooh,
Kelnozz?
that's a giant's belch if I've ever heard one. Can I identify the giant by its belch?
Roll a nature check, but you better roll pretty high.
Ooh, 13.
13.
I still had it there.
It sounds like a full-grown giant, whatever it is.
We should be stealthy and set up a
Kill zone.
kill zone. Everyone attack thing.
Maybe we could use BIMs as bait. and lure the giant back towards us.
Just what Bims enjoys the most.
First, let's get some. Maybe we should get some knowledge of how many there are.
Well, I only heard one belch. I feel we should.
And there's only
rush
one.
in there. We should rush in there and murder this thing.
From Brynn's
Could be the one
survival,
that-
from Brynn's survival
What's that?
score, he can tell you that it is just one. At least one track that you've been following.
Yeah, we would see more tracks if there was more than one. Duh. You think giants are smart enough to walk in their own tracks?
Well, there's possibly more than one entrance to a cave, Brynn, but
I think giants
You
are
know.
smart enough to meet. Okay. Can we stealth? Should we stealth up to them? Or him?
Oh, definitely sneak up on him. We gotta catch him with his pants down, if you know what I mean. Hoping to catch him with his pants actually down. So we can murder him. No, not for any other reason. Sickos.
cold-blooded murder of the giant.
Looks like you fell asleep, right?
Brynn, I'm proud of you.
I did fall asleep. I'm currently in a lucid dream.
Alright, so if you guys are going to stealth up, then we just need you guys to all make stealth checks.
I have to warn you, dwarves aren't very stealthy.
You tell us now! I've been hearing you clunk around the whole time.
Okay. So as you guys get moving closer towards the sound of the belch, you see that there is a part of this cavern that kind of opens into a smaller hole that is still probably like 40 feet tall, and it seems to lead into another kind of attached cavern. And as you get close to it, you can hear a boisterous voice interspersed with random burps and kind of slobbery noises. And you hear it say, well, just let me clarify, who here speaks giant besides, I think, Brynn?
I speak giant.
Eikooc speaks giant.
I feel like dwarves do.
Some dwarves do, but your character would specifically speak it or not. It's okay, you'll hear me saying it anyway.
Excellent. Someone
know-
translate for me.
You know Infernal Dwarven in common. This is pretty good.
Ooh, infernal. That might come in handy. Especially when Kelnozz really turns over to the dark side.
Oh yeah. Gotta roleplay that part too. I don't know all the Kelnozz secrets though.
The voice says, puny dwarves trying to keep their fire liquid from me. Should have killed all of them. And as you guys get a little bit closer to the cavern, you hear him stop. He says, oh?
Can I see him? Or did he just say hello, like he can hear us?
He did say something that sounded like hello, and You guys can't see him if you look through the hole in this cavern. And I'll let you guys decide how close you get to the cavern at this point.
I'm gonna get right up to the entrance. Because I want this giant dead.
Can we set a trap for the giant so that we gain some sort of advantage? And also, who's the giant talking to?
You guys can't see the giant, and from here you can make perception checks if you want to see what you can see into the cavern here. Most of you, again, being limited to about 60 feet with dark vision. Yuck being completely blind. Minus a light source or anything.
Is there a light source inside? Like, does the giant have like a fire going or anything? Or he's just chilling in this dark cave by himself?
You guys, you can see the flicker of a fire, Brynn, but you can't see the fire itself.
What if I throw my fermented pieces of wood onto the fire to cause a distraction to give us advantage against this giant?
Well, I think he'd see us, or at least see you coming in to stoke logs on his fire.
Well, I'm not overly stealthy, but I believe elves are. This might help tame your bloodlust.
Burning a log?
Potentially lighting the ogre or giant on fire. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Well, that would work. I say we put a couple arrows through his skull before he knows what's hit him. What say you, Tharhun? Will you banish this evil from the land?
Well, we did hear him admit that he stole this liquor from, no doubt, good-natured dwarves. Perhaps. Well, they were just minding their own business, brewing some, I'm sure, legitimate brew, and this giant stormed in and probably killed many of them before he made off with their liquor. He definitely deserves the judgment of Maraganor upon him.
Whatever narrative you need to justify your smiting, eh?
It doesn't take much. I already have my greatsword out. And then, Brynn, you take the lead. You understand how to hunt these beasts.
Okay, let's put you guys into a marching order here.
In the lead. Taking points.
Can we check for traps before we enter this cave?
Always
Probably
good.
not a bad idea, yeah.
Go ahead and make
Sounds
a
reasonable.
investigation check, Grage.
Me? I'm
You
not
said
really
you were
a
checking?
trap checker.
Well, whoever is going to check for traps.
What do you say, investigation? I am not very skilled at this.
I don't think any of us are great at investigating, so we're always in trouble.
17 seems decently high.
You don't see any sign of a trap. As you guys are standing here and discussing whether or not you're going to go in here and deal with the giants, the giant calls out and says, "You stupid dwarves here for your fire liquid? Just come and try and take it. I'm drinking it all." You can
Kelnozz,
hear that
calm down, we'll go.
that this giant is probably, the voice sounds like it's probably coming around the corner a bit. That's why you guys can't see it. So
Oh,
at
Kelnozz,
this
we should
point,
go and slay it before it drinks all the liquor. Kelnozz, are you
point.
there?
at this point, everyone needs to roll initiative. You guys unfortunately failed your stealth check.
Oh wait, I have to click on myself, sorry. Right. Click.
It
Did it
now
work
makes
for
more
me, or-
sense why you have to click on your token for each initiative roll, because I have two different ones that should have actually worked.
There you go. It's all coming to light.
Tharhun, what's your initiative bonus? Possibly muted yourself.
0.
Okay, so Kelnozz gets to act first here. You guys have just heard the giant say something about how he's going to drink everything.
Alright, so Kelnozz. Going to trying to see what his speed is.
It's probably 30.
That's what I'm assuming. Oh yeah, 30. Okay, so 2, 3, 5, 6. Kelnozz is gonna move out to here and say, I will be drinking that. And Kelnozz will first of all just take a look at this guy. I guess, what does he look like? What has he got on him?
Alright, so let's get Kelnozz to do a nature check. This is a large, gray giant. He's got kind of lizard hide and different animal hides that he's put together for rough clothing. He actually looks not a whole bunch different from kind of the typical Halgud, except much larger. Kelnozz is not really aware of the differences between giants to know the difference between a hill giant or a stone giant or elsewise. But it looks very large, and whereas hill giants have a kind of bulbous and kind of fat, slobby, kind of muscled look, this giant is much more lean, skin very hard, and has a more kind of intelligent gaze on it. This one, however, is completely sloshed, and you can see that it's been drinking heavily.
All right. So I think what Kelnozz is going to do is he's going to come in and he's going to I think he's going to come in and say some sort of vicious mockery. DC 17 wisdom. Bah.
Nice. Let's see here.
So I think you still take the damage.
Yeah.
But you don't have the.
No, I don't have the disadvantage.
And Kelnozz will activate his fire sword.
Ooh, excellent timing.
Good timing.
Oh.
You just activated your fire sword.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I happily hand over Kelnozz back to the master.
We stabbing?
Well, you just walked in and viciously mocked this giant that we're about to attack. This giant has
It
liquor
has dwarf ale.
Whoa.
that you are interested in.
Knowing laugh.
Oh, look at this guy. Is he friendly?
He says, I can't believe you just said that to me. In giant.
I just viciously mocked him for you.
Wasn't very nice.
Alright.
And Brynn really wants to kill him.
It is.
I thought about
Bryn's turn.
trying to get him to share, but Brynn was just going to attack him anyway.
Reasonable.
Alright, Bryn's up. Have you muted
You're
yourself?
on
Frank?
mute. Or not talking.
Your webcam has infected your computer.
Ooh.
Ryan bought a $5 webcam from China
Ah,
off Alize.
Yep.
Justice.
ah, can you
Wait,
hear me
next
now?
time. Yep.
Yep.
Next time we
Next
tell
time
it,
I'm
it's gonna
spending
be
$10.
China paid Ryan to take a webcam.
Ugh. It took 4 months to arrive, so they might as well have, like, I could have traveled to China by foot and made it back in time. Like, alright, I am going to run into the room here.
Kev, I
So
love the
I will
mustache.
go
There he is.
Oh, yeah.
1, 2, 3,
I missed the beard.
4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm going to use my bonus action to put Hunter's Mark on him.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to let fly an arrow of despair.
Let loose.
Critical hit. Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Gotta add your smite to that.
Insta smite.
Does that calculate that automatically? It's 7 plus 6.
Yes.
And then a d6. D6 and 4 for my favored enemy. That's a nice hit. What is that?
20 damage.
20 damage. Bam!
Ugh.
That was one attack. Do it again.
Die, you foul beast! And I use my holy shit extra attack.
Yeah.
Hit him with the bow again with a 22
That's a hit.
for 14, which is actually more than the critical. I must have rolled really. Oh, I rolled a 1 on the first hit
Yeah.
of the critical. Oh, that'll kill you. So 14 plus 4 plus 4, so
Wow.
22 damage with a regular hit.
Alright, Brynn, you know, just looking at this, that this is a stone giant. And they are
Take half damage or something.
they are smarter than hill giants, but in terms of the giant hierarchy, they're still some of the less imposing giants that you could encounter.
Sweet.
All right, so it is Grage's
This is a
turn.
stone giant, friends. Take that as you will. Take him down.
Alright, I'm doing this for Brynn, so I used my full movement to get right next to the stone giant.
Credit job.
Take it the no, I'm going hand axe.
22 is a hit.
Nice.
Well, bam!
Close.
And then I do my follow-up, wabam. 18 is
Hit.
Bam.
a hit. And how's this giant looking? Is he look like he's almost dead? It's almost dead.
He is looking bloodied.
Especially for being made out of stone.
I don't want to waste my chi then, I think, so I will just take another vicious swing with my axe and save my chi. Which is wabam.
18's a hit. Very
18.
nice.
Bam. Alright, so I chipped off some stone off his ankles.
Oop. I just did that to you instead. Grage, make sure you put your health back up.
What did you
Yours.
was it full?
Yes, it was full.
Lies, it wasn't full.
It should have been full because you guys took a long rest and you didn't encountering anything before this giant.
It was a long night. But alright,
Of drinking?
we'll
Not
go
yet.
with drinking.
I managed to get you some alcohol, Kevin. We found a broken barrel, and you spent an hour recovering the liquor from the soaked wood and the ground around it.
I'm so glad you played Kelnozz perfectly while I was gone.
We tried suckling the wood for a while, but he came up with a better idea.
Alright, on the giant's turn, it struggles to get up as 2 arrows come flying in, combined with a rushing dwarf with a blurred speed of axes and fists. And it goes, you're not Durgar. And he seems to hold back a little bit of puke. And then kind of hazardly comes down at Grage with his great club.
Dodge, dodge!
How many levels of exhaustion does this giant have?
You'll never know.
That's a good
13.
question.
13
the
doesn't
best.
hit, so he is going to stumble on his feet a little bit and try and swing around again. I think 18's a miss, isn't it?
I have 20.
Oh man.
Damn.
20
So-
AC.
There's
Grage
no
is-
shield too. It's ridiculous.
Grage is able to
Ooh.
Grage
see this
is
coming
a
is-
beast.
flips out of the way.
No one's able to hit him.
Alright, so that's its turn. Tharhun, you're up.
Dragon face, why do you hide your face?
Possibly muted.
No, I'm here. I'm just taking a look at where I am.
Go,
I should order a
brother,
webcam and then
Ragnar.
wait 4 months.
Yeah, Scott, you should order a $20 webcam and wait 4 months for it to arrive. Only to have it crash every 40 seconds.
Secure. Okay, yeah, this will work. So I go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 or so. And then I cast a spell.
Oh, the zone of truth.
Zone of Truth. Magical zone that guards against deception in a 15-foot square until the spell ends. That enters this area for the first time on a turn or starts the turn there must take a Christmas saving throw. On a failed save, can't say a
You guys
lie.
get Christmas.
That's what I heard too.
Christmas saving throw, like, oh, save that one.
Wait, an effective creature is aware of the spell
Yeah.
and can thus avoid answering questions to which it would normally respond to such a lie. Oh man,
Wait,
I don't
That's kinda
understand what you're
lame.
gonna do with that. We're murdering this giant.
I'm trying to force him to tell us where he found the dwarves, basically.
Probably
But-
where all the smashed barrels were.
Yeah.
Probably follow his tracks the other way.
That's true.
All right. Do you want to use your any other part of your turn to ask a question?
I ask him, where exactly did you find those dwarves that you stole this liquor from?
ooh,
The stone giant just says, "This is my liquor now. You can't have any."
That's clearly fighting words.
He's
We've
clearly
already arrowed him and axed him.
he's very
so
very much engaged in battle.
Then Tharhun comes in and axes him a question.
we did it in the wrong order.
No, we intimidated.
All right, Eikooc, you're up.
Alright, I move to there. And time for some fireball diplomacy.
Ooh.
But just make sure you don't hit the barrels of liquor.
They don't hit the barrels. They seem important. They have icons.
Alright, I'll use my spell shaping to avoid the barrel.
I don't think you can avoid the barrels with your spell shaping.
No, I probably can't.
He can.
Is it only people?
It's
It
creatures,
looks like
yes.
a
It's only a number
Fire
of
bolt or
creatures
something.
of 1 plus the spell's level. So, for instance, only 4 people can be what's the right word?
Protected, I guess?
Protected from fireballs unless it's cast at a higher level.
Ooh, do we have one extra person that can't be protected by the fireball now? If
Only
we're
if
all
I'm-
clustered?
Only if I'm in it as well, which I'm usually not.
Well, you wouldn't sacrifice the body for the rest of us?
No. I would sacrifice one of you. Like if we were in the desert again and those skeletons were all coming at us and I had to fireball myself in order to... Yeah. No, one of you would just go down.
You could maneuver this fireball so it just doesn't hit the barrels.
Alright, let's do that.
Right? You focus it like over
Yeah, just over here.
here,
and then use
basically.
it. Yeah. That's fine.
It's 20 feet.
Yep.
Okay, deck save. Oof. Alright,
Good deck.
did that with disadvantage there. So he's going to take half damage from that.
That was a particularly bad roll on the damage. Look, there's
Yeah,
4 ones in
15's
there.
not great. It's a little disappointing.
It's like 8d6.
Should have just used the fire bolt.
Fails.
Ooh. Bro's making a stupid face.
This is a feature of your webcam.
It's really,
Oh my God,
they should
right.
just put it in the description that shit just every once in a while freeze frame till you turn it
Oh,
off
that's
and
a good
turn it
one.
back on.
That's a good one.
It looks like you're sassing somebody. You
Oh,
should
I
make
was
that
sassing somebody. It caught me at peak sass.
You look like a very drunk fire giant. Alright, Kelnozz, you're up.
Alright, well. We tried reasoning
There
with
you
it.
go.
So,
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes when I turn it back on, the microphone turns off.
The dumb face is still there, though.
Damn it.
I'll use bonus action to light my sword on fire.
Oh,
Already done.
It's
Yeah.
already on fire.
It's double lit.
Lord. 2 times the fire.
All right.
You
Well,
didn't
that's
know
the
that you
case.
could turn it up a notch. Turn up the heat a little.
To 11.
Double
Blue
fire.
flames instead of red.
I'll just chop into this guy. 17.
17 is a hit.
How about 8 slashing and probably half of 9 fire?
He grimaces at your fire damage as much as you might expect him to.
Oh. I'll take a second attack. Ooh, 26.
Go
Gotta be a
ahead.
hit. 10 slashing, 7 fire.
Just let me drink alone.
Kevin,
And
my
he-
first thought was I was going to cast Suggestion and suggest that he share his liquor with you.
Amazing.
Oh, that
But-
would
I
have
didn't
been
think
good.
of that.
Alright, unless Kelnozz says anything else, we're going to be doing Brynn.
That's it, yeah.
Possibly muted again.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Oh my god, man.
Can you actually hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. This is ridiculous. Okay. Is there anything towards the back of this room? How far can I see? Oh, not all the way to the back.
You can see that to your immediate east is a pool of like brackish water. Small, like almost more of a puddle than a pool. But the finer details of the cavern, at least to the south, are beyond your dark vision.
Okay.
It's a pretty
well-
plain cavern from what you can see otherwise.
I'm gonna fire my bow at him. Take him down, foul creature. 14.
A 14, your arrow misses.
Ooh. And with that extra attack,
Oh shit.
18
18 hits.
for 11 plus 4 plus 1, so 16.
The 16, the giant is just about to get ready to swing his great club at the crowd around him now, and he says, "I don't like you," and then an arrow clonks into his head, and he falls down.
Ooh, got him.
Fucking got him.
Got him. Froze again. God damn it. Kick him while he's down.
Watch out. Protect the beer.
It's making sure he's down.
Can we
He's down.
search the cavern?
Yep, go ahead and make a
Search
investigation
his
check
body,
to
search
search.
the cavern?
I'd like to investigate these kegs. Oh man.
You find nothing in the kegs. It's already been siphoned out.
The stone giants had a very large great club that was made out of essentially stone.
What a great club.
He's got scraps, animal hides that he's using for his clothing. But amongst that, you do find, let's see, 11 gold pieces.
Whew.
So much better with webcams because you can see the cringe.
Yeah. Normally I say that and I get nothing in return, but just seeing Kevin slowly shake his head was enough.
You
It's
can let it
normally just dead air.
You gotta let it hang. You can't just laugh directly.
Eikooc, you find like the stone giant has a kind of pile of garbage and rags and stuff that he's kind of brought into this area, and amongst it you find a tiny silver bell without a clapper. Grage unfortunately isn't able to find anything useful, and Kelnozz, when you are investigating these barrels, you're not really able to get anything specific out of them in terms of you don't see any maker's marks or no sign of like a city or geography that this would have come from. But you while you were gone, you had made an earlier check that you knew that this was a kind of a fiery, spicy liquor that the Durgar brew.
Hell yeah. Is there much left in the containers? In the kegs?
Yes. Sorry, just before we get into that, you also do know that the Durgar word for this kind of liquor is Kelnozz.
Kelnozz?
Yeah. And this is like, to think about it in like an out of character way, this stuff is essentially kind of like whiskey.
What you were named after.
Spicy whiskey, I like it. Now, is there any food? Did the giant have any food rations kicking around?
Right now, you're not able to see any food. He doesn't seem to have any carcasses. You are able to see bones that he's gnawed off in the past. Right now, you're basically only able to find that he had these 4 barrels of the Kelnozz, and one, the top has been opened up, and it's about halfway empty. The rest seem to be unopened and full of something.
Just like
Perhaps we could take a little taste.
I'll take a sip of some Kelnozz, but I don't want the whole thing.
Now, a giant isn't some sort of evil creature from another realm. It's kind of a conventional creature that is made of meat.
Rock meat.
Is it fleshy rock or something? What's the meat situation?
As hard as a rock for sure.
The skin is absolutely has a stone-like texture to it, but
Probably
it
not
can
good
be
eating.
cut. It's not that much different from the Halgud skin.
Who is eating Halgud skin?
No one yet.
You and I were last time, I thought.
No, we were eating the weird, like, squid
The
creature.
Grix.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Grix? Yeah.
I'm assuming we can't carry these kegs with us.
If only we had some sort of portable hole.
Well, someone ruined that for us previously. The classic blunder.
Yeah,
Well,
let's turn to the astral plane. It's a very silly place.
The only solution is we drink it all now, and then continue on our journey.
Well, we should open the kegs just in case. Maybe for some reason there's something else in them.
let us check each keg and see if there's any giant strength brew. That's what
Do we
I'd be
have to roll
interested
for
in.
this, or?
No, you guys don't need to roll for it. You can tell that the ones that are full, you can kind of crack it open and see that a strong smell of this fermented liquor wafts out,
It's too intoxicating for me to not like grab a handful, sort of like take a little taste test.
Little taste through.
Well,
How big are these kegs?
oh, they're barrels.
Heavy.
They're like the size of a normal barrel to a humanoid.
Oh, could a horse carry the barrel?
Yeah,
Magical
traditionally,
one?
yes, of course. I mean, they'd have to have some way of holding on to the barrel, whether it was dragging it or tied up to a horse or something like that. But
Yeah.
We'll use some stone skin from the giant. That'd probably be pretty
Skin rope.
Dear
pretty
Lord.
powerful.
Skin rope.
Well, dwarves are
Why couldn't
crafty
we just
people.
use? Why couldn't we just use the
Rope.
conventional rope we have? Gotta make skin rope first.
I have no rope in my bag.
Well, we're adventurers. We have lots of rope. We come prepared.
I'm pretty sure our bag of stuff is gone, so
We don't have
There
any
will
shot.
be no-
we're limited on resources.
I'll just point out though that even though a horse could carry these barrels, a horse is also not going to be traveling through the Underdark extremely easily.
Oh, okay.
What about a celestial horse?
That's true.
Does the liquor count as our water ration for the day?
No, the liquor doesn't hydrate you.
But I think we're setting up camp here anyway, aren't we?
How far into the day are we?
I think we just
Travel-
didn't we just
We traveled 6 hours or more.
Yeah, Eric's
we had a
right, yeah.
battle.
to chase down the giant?
Oh, this
Does
is
it
a
look
good
like he's
place
been
to
the
make
only
camp.
occupant?
From what you can tell, it looks like he has been the only occupant, at least recently. And when you guys explored the cave, you can see that there's only one entrance into the cave. So, in terms of a place for shelter, it's pretty ideal in terms of what's available in the Underdark.
That's not bad.
And just remember,
Is
there's also a pool of brackish water over here.
Tharhun, can you
Right.
make that drinkable?
Yes. I go over here and I cast some magic. I purify.
Yes.
Testify.
Can you also just make food?
I can actually, yeah, that's true.
Well, it's
We do
the
have
end of the
some food
day. Why don't you
We've
just
got
make
food,
food
liquor,
for us?
water.
I guess I could.
Why doesn't Yuk set up an alarm or some kind of trap on the only way into the cave?
I
That's a good idea
absolutely will.
also.
Could stay here forever.
Yeah. Tharhun's just make food for us every day.
Tharhun makes a feast, 45 pounds of food, 30 gallons of water.
Oh my god. Per day?
Maraganor will provide to us, friends.
Here, here, brother. Ragnor always provides.
This is
Indeed.
incredible.
Food,
Our own
water,
party manager
and look.
over here.
wine, Kelnozz. I'm sure your favorite.
Praise be. Ragnar serves us well.
Yeah, I'll set up
What?
an alarm.
No, Kelnozz, we serve Maraganor.
That's what I
And
said.
he rewards us. Yes.
What did I say? I'm just so inspired by your acts of magic. There, Brynn.
Thank you.
Just taking it. It's a lot to take in all of one.
Ugh. Magic. This is no trick. The power of a god of justice flows through me. I am his champion. This is the truth, not some magic. Anyway, I will teach you much of the ways of our faith, Kelnozz.
It's clear I
As
have
we
much
eat.
to learn.
I chow down.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so you guys are gonna have your feast, your water.
As Kelnozz drinks a little bit, he goes on to talk about how much better Maraganor is than like other crappy gods like Tyr, and how Tyr never did anything for anyone. And as he gets more drunk, he goes on a bit of a tirade about how Maraganor is the true god, and he's finally found his way.
Very good. Anyone who drinks excess with the alcohol will need to make a Constitution check during their long rest. Are you guys going to do your usual watch scenarios?
I will take a watch. Before I dive into, I guess, while I was watching, we drink first, then we watch.
Why not?
Drink first, then watch.
Drink while you watch.
Definitely going to be taking a Constitution save, that's for sure.
Okay. So Brynn's going to take first watch. Who's taking a second watch?
I can do a watch.
Okay, well then we'll get perception checks from the both of you, and Constitution checks from Brynn and Kelnozz, and anyone else who's having more than a sip or two of the fire liquor.
I'm going to use a luck point to roll an extra d20 for this.
Excuse me.
Not great. I guess I'll go with the 11. That's terrible.
Okay, well at the end of your long rest, you do not feel any lingering hangover from your drinking, and your watch goes undeterred in this kind of off to the side, out of the way pocket of the UnderRog.
Brilliant leadership staying in this place, I must say.
Make a special note on the map that I've been keeping up of where this is, just in case we ever need to get back here.
Make sure to mark that there's kegs left over here. In case we need a hasty
Special
retreat
note
and a
on the
drink.
map.
Special.
Right, just
Key
looks
resources.
so happy to be here.
Oh yeah, yeah, I'm frozen again. God damn. I'm gonna take this opportunity to go pee.
Ooh, do that in the bathroom.
I will. Or will I? Because none of you can see me anyway.
Yeah,
I look like I'm just sitting here staring to the side.
Looks like you're peeing.
I'm currently peeing.
Come, gather by the fire.
Ooh, excuse me, guys.
Looks like the fire went out.
Alright, so when you guys are ready, you guys can put yourself back into a marching order.
Can't remember what my job was. Was I looking for... Was I helping navigate so we didn't run into traps or ambush or something?
No, you're
You're
navigating.
familiar. You know this area. Ish.
Ish.
Keep telling us.
I keep telling you guys, but then I was rolling like absolute garbage last week.
You rolled a great survival at the beginning of this.
What do we have Vims doing? Watching for threats?
He's just with you, I guess.
So we're like double navigating? Oh, I think... Okay. I think we had... I was looking for tracks of other creatures, and Bims was looking for any like symbols or insignias that would lead to a path that would go like up to the surface. I think we were both looking for different things, if I remember correctly.
We definitely had you navigating.
Mhm.
because Grage was the one who was tracking for the most part. But Bibbs can
was thing.
excuse me, Bibbs can help you with your navigating basically.
Okay.
So just waiting for Ryan to get back, I guess.
We'll never know when that is.
He hasn't left yet. I'll be right back in a second too.
We gotta get a webcam for Scott.
Me too.
Get you like a decent one. Not one of those ones that Ryan's getting.
I'll be right back as well.
Okay.
If we're gonna do a group P. Get in on that.
Smart.
Is Ryan back?
We lost everybody.
Dear God.
Mass bathroom break. Pure chaos.
I'm getting a sugar injection.
What kind of sugar you got?
A freezy.
Oh yeah. That would be a good dessert, given how hot it is.
It's pretty ridiculous. Especially during lunch, I'll go outside and sit, and I'll just start falling asleep and be like, oh God, don't fall asleep in the sun.
Doc Rye.
He's frozen.
He's not frozen, he can't talk anymore.
He's muted.
Muted and frozen.
This would be even more hilarious if we were just trolling him, but we're not.
But I can never tell if you're trolling me or not. The first 2 times that you're like, we can't hear you, I'm like, yeah, whatever. You guys are just pulling my leg.
Did you guys see Mitzel show up? But then he
Yeah,
disappeared.
They showed up, muted, never said anything, and then left.
No, I didn't see that. Maybe it's while I was gone.
I'll message him. Be like, hey, bro. Brah.
Scott here?
Yep, I'm back.
No, we lost Eric.
He was back.
I think he sat on his laptop.
Ooh.
Okay, well, if everyone's back, we can put ourselves into this marching order and decide who's going to do what.
think other than Brynn, we've gotten into our order.
And I think Brynn, yeah, he was foraging because he gets double forage.
And he can do 2 different jobs too. Pretty good. So. Okay, so if this is how it's gonna go, then we need 3 survival checks. 1 from Kelnozz, 1 from Brynn, 1 from Grage.
Here we go. Big money. Ooh. Okay. Look at that.
Decent survival.
Yeah.
Decent.
Okay.
Extremely decent.
With the 20, Brynn's gonna have no trouble foraging. So you guys travel for about 2.5 days. Meanwhile, Brynn is foraging as he goes, becoming more comfortable with the fungi life in the Underdark, and is able to give you guys plant-based food and water during your travels for those 2 days. There aren't any significant issues or tracks along the way until you get about 2.5 days later, when you start entering into a part of the UnderRog where Grage is able to tell that the pathway has been walked on a bit more frequently, and the caverns are starting to open up into larger caverns. And you encounter a cavern that goes on for about a mile or so, you can tell. Well, you can see it's large enough that you think it might go on for about a mile or so. And Kelnozz, you can see a bit further than everyone else, and you can see that there are fields of blue cap mushrooms, which is a very common agricultural crop that's used in the UnderRog. And it looks like you're entering into what is essentially the equivalent of the UnderRog farmland.
Are there any traces of people who might be working these crops?
Make perception check.
Okay. I'd be looking are they arranged in certain patterns or...
So you guys have, how I'm imagining this at least, is you guys have kind of encountered this large cavern and you can see these fields here. How you go forward is going to be determined how you guys tell. I needed perception, not nature,
Oh, whoops.
if you wanted to see anything.
Doesn't matter, apparently.
Within your 120 feet, you don't see anyone.
But are there are they arranged in man-made
Yes. So
patterns and stuff?
it does look like it is a planned and tilled field.
Gotcha.
So how are you guys going to go forward from this, or how do you?
Well, maybe I'll explain to the party that this is we could eat these without much risk. It should be relatively safe. But I think it's clear to everyone that this is definitely, there must be people nearby or must be people who are managing these, just the way that they're grown.
With
So-
your nature check, I'll give you Kelnozz also that this is a fungus that needs to be, it can be ground down into a flour and baked into a bread. So
That's very specific.
Blue cap bread,
that's right.
blue loaf. So we can grab some to eat probably, but I think we should proceed with caution, move in a stealthy way, as to not catch the attention of whoever is sort of managing this
We
farmland.
can't see any farmhouses or anything. It's just fields that we can see.
Depends how far you want to go. As you guys have encountered this field,
'Cause we
most
can
of you
only
are
see
limited to
60
60 feet. Kelnozz can only see 120. So I just need to know how you guys are going to explore this cavern, or if you do at all.
We should get our story straight in case we encounter anybody who wants to talk.
Be warned
I could
that
wear
you-
my disguise, where I'm just a simple blue cat farmer. We've done this before. We've done this routine 100 times.
the
And it's
giant
worked every
wonder
time.
dwarves.
It's worked every time.
Well, I'm just a simple farmer.
But why are we down here?
You're my
We don't exact-
slaves.
Yeah.
Slave.
Yeah, drows are all about slave labor.
Working.
Take,
The giants
Okay.
are dwarves, so be warned. This might be dwarven fields.
Durgar.
That's a
um,
yeah, I will put on my disguise just as a precaution.
Do the Durgar respect the drow, or do they fight with them?
The drow take Durgar as slaves, so they're probably not. They would be more afraid of drow than anything else. And I guess if they were well organized and armed enough, they might try to fight. But generally, they would be afraid of drow.
Okay, well maybe we could use that angle.
could I don Mioth's hat and make a similar disguise to Kelnozz's?
Yeah.
Let's see. You are already attuned to that hat, so yes. So yes, you can use it.
Right?
So what are you disguising yourself as?
A drow mushroom farmer?
Or we could be drow like taskmasters, so that could explain why everyone else is with us. So we're sort of like the slave drivers.
Hmm. Sounds accurate.
What ability score did you use your disguise kit for? Kelnozz?
Charisma?
Yeah, that's
Can I do that?
no. No, I'd say
Intelligence?
it's got to be an intelligence check.
Again.
Very nice.
How does he do it?
That's destiny.
How does he do it?
Okay, so you're disguising yourself as a taskmaster.
Yes. Yeah. And that means that we can actually move as a party, as long as, you guys are actually carrying your weight. Maybe you could like carry us on your backs or something, or we could create like a small chair, and Brynn and Eikooc could like carry 2 front legs and 2 back legs and sort of like carry me around.
Bryn's a
Oh, I'm sorry.
a drow too.
Tharhun and Eikooc.
Maybe you guys could just lead the charge.
Well, actually, no. Eikooc is so big. Could you carry both of us on your shoulders?
I can carry more than I. What is my whole thing? Yeah, I can carry a fair bit more than the average bear.
So I'm getting that you guys are making some kind of crude palanquin to move Kelnozz around in.
It sounds like they want to ride on my shoulder.
Yeah.
Okay.
It will also give me better vision of this area. So, like, let's think about it tactically as well.
Alright, I'll just carry Kelnozz on my shoulder. I will carry both on my shoulders.
Okay, that's fair.
And are you guys moving stealthily?
Well, no.
I don't
Let's
think so.
let's move normally, because now we have an amazing ironclad backstory that no one could possibly penetrate if they meet us. Like, this is just so rock solid. And to sell it a little bit more, I'll sort of shout, "Ah, you lazy Halgud, move faster!"
Make a deception check.
So you guys are this cavern kind of the path kind of narrows down into a more from a rough path into a more maintained, almost like a road. It's more like the kind of the screenings you'd see in a forest path rather than a paved surface. But the road is roughly 20 feet long, or not long but wide. And I'm assuming you guys are just going to stroll down the road since you're not going stealthily.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll assume we'll sort of take a similar marching order as we're walking down the road.
Well, let's put you guys in a marching order.
If you're transporting slaves, you'd probably have one at the front, one at the back.
So I'll
The
shout.
slaves in the middle.
I'll shout to Brynn. Gniddup, keep those slaves in line.
Gniddup. We're going from left to right.
Yes.
Are you on my shoulder or no?
Yeah, I'm on your shoulder. Where are you? There you go.
Alright, so putting you guys at around the 120 mark. As you guys walk through this cavern, you see the fields of the blue cap are occasionally dotted with small stone hovels. Some of them are built right into the rock. Some of them appear to be huge boulders that have been put there and carved into the middle of. But as you come by, you don't see any people or creatures tending the fields. As you are walking down the road at 120 mark, when Kelnozz's dark vision clicks in, he can see coming out of the darkness and into his focus two small gray creatures that are barely more than 3 feet tall, and lumbering beside them, about the size of a normal humanoid, or maybe the size of a dwarf, is this very bulky and almost rock-like creature that is walking down the path. And they immediately see you, since you're not taking any attempt to be stealthily. And I know Kelnozz speaks Undercommon. Is he the only
So does
one?
Eikooc.
Eikooc apparently supposedly knows a version of
I don't.
Undercommon.
Yeah, I don't speak Undercommon.
But you hear Kelnozz in the voice, in the sound of Undercommon, you hear someone say, or one of these creatures say, "By the stones, a drow! Run!" And one of them starts fleeing, and we can all roll initiative.
Can I tell what they are? Oh, I know what they are. Well, table talk.
You can make a nature if you'd like. Actually, you know what? You don't need to make a nature check. You can tell from this distance that they're deep gnomes.
Yeah.
They're
Nibble.
underground gnomes, generally an enemy of the drow, since they're not as down for their malicious and xenophobic ways.
Can I shout out to them?
You can, but let's just get initiative first.
Okay. some solid rolls.
Jesus Christ. Jesus, there are some solid rolls. Jesus.
Do we get 2 turns before they go? As a result of our superior rolls?
That would be nice.
Well said, Brynn. Well said.
Alright, so Kelnozz, you can go ahead and call out to them if you like.
So what I'll say, Dwarf Neblin. Okay, I think I'm pronouncing this correct. Correct. Halt, Swerf Neblin! We'll not take you as slaves. You have more value to us alive. Perhaps you could help us.
Make a perception check with disadvantage.
Disadvantage.
You can't see that your call out has had any effect on them. One of them still seems to be preparing to turn around and dash away, and the other gnome seems to be barking an order at its rocky companion.
I'll say, you dare defy me? If you run, we'll hunt you down and slay you.
You can see that the gnome is reaching for a war pick at its side.
Mm. Alright, someone haste me up so I can murder these guys.
Ah, damn, I was about to. That's good.
Like, I want them to help us, but my
They won't,
rolls are
so-
garbage.
You just have to
so we
kill
might as well
them.
just kill them.
Sure one.
Still in character with our backstory. If the drow didn't have helpful gnomes, it would just murder them.
Well, if we don't auto aggro them, maybe they won't fully run away. Like if we just keep walking normally.
Well, haven't you already threatened them?
I threaten them as to not run away.
Well, one of them's reaching for a sword, and another's barking orders at a golem or something. Was it?
It's like a earth elemental or something.
Yeah.
Construct.
So
Tell them we know where there are barrels of Kelnozz ale. We would be happy to trade them for information.
there you go.
That's pretty good. So I'll speak in Undercommon and say, perhaps we got off on the wrong foot. I seem to have misplaced my whereabouts. I'm in need of a guide. Perhaps we could share some spicy Kelnozz whiskey for your guidance.
Make a persuasion check at disadvantage. The creature, from this distance, looks a little bit confused. And it pauses, and that's about as close as a drow gets to succeeding. So, we're going to move on to Eikoc's turn. Eikooc, you can't see anything that these guys are talking about. To my knowledge, you're completely blind, because you haven't said you cast Dark Vision or or lit a torch or anything, or cast light.
True.
So,
I just got this drow on my head directing me where to go. I'll play my role and I'll say, whatever you say, Master, and I will cast haste on Kelnozz.
Okay. So, Grage, these guys are well beyond your 60 feet of vision, so Kelnozz has just started shouting out into the darkness, and you've heard faintly the sound of a voice returning it.
Well, I believe I am pretending to be one of the slaves, right? So I don't believe either party will get to each other before combat, so I will lower my head in case they can see me and whimper.
You could always
And
delay your turn till after their turn or something like that.
Or you can ready an action, is what you can
Turn
do.
exists in this?
Pardon?
I didn't know I could delay them.
Yeah, you
Wait.
actually can't. You can just ready it. You can ready an action.
Oh, you can only delay your turn till after a friend?
No, I was reading the rules, you just can't delay turns.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because otherwise it just breaks initiative entirely. Then you just decide who gets to go first. Right?
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so
Sort of. I mean, it's a strategic decision.
it is a strategic decision, but initiative is based on your character's innate ability to react quickly to something, right? So, as a monk with high dex, you're going to be reacting quickly to things all the time, whereas, just for example, Scott, who's like a strong warrior but not very quick, is not necessarily going to react to things as quick as you every single time, right? So that's how initiative is kind of working. So yeah, if you can delay things, at that point you're just deciding who goes first. So you might as well not roll initiative, right? So in this case, we're just going to ready actions. So just say, if you want to do something, this is what I'll do in that scenario.
Okay. So ready like a cheat spell. Key.
Well, yeah, you could say, like, if anyone comes within 5 feet of me, I'm going to hit them with a hand axe, or you don't have to ready the idea of catching an arrow. You can just do that as a reaction.
I ready my stunning strike in case anyone gets too close.
So what you're going to do is ready a melee. You're going to hit someone with your hand axe or your fist if they come in close to you. Because your stunning strike is something you do after you hit someone. You know what I mean?
Hand axe.
Okay. Brynn? Same scenario. Darkness, 60 feet ahead of you.
Shouting.
Caught me mid-carrot eat, apparently this time. Can you guys still hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Alright. What's the play here, Kelnozz? Are we chasing after them?
I think I've somewhat convinced them to not directly run away from us by offering them some spicy ale. So I think we should proceed in a non-hostile, like non-threatening way. We can walk towards them, but let's not brandish our weapons threateningly.
Okay. Well, I will casually walk towards them. Waving. Oh,
They're much more afraid of us than we should be of them. My people
waving
are
my hand in a friendly manner as I walk forward.
Well, they live here, so hopefully they can shed some light on where we can go next.
Yeah, they might know some passages to the surface.
I would love to have the sun hit my tiny shoulders again.
It's been a long time. Alright, anything else for you, Brynn?
I guess I will. I guess everybody's readying actions.
You're
like
still
we're-
you're still
Huh?
disguised as a drow.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, I think that's it. I don't think I would. Because I'm not brandishing a weapon or anything, so.
These guys are threatened by drows, though.
They are naturally, but we've tried to like convince them that we're not an imminent threat.
And it turns out, I was just waving friendly into the darkness. Because I can't see far enough.
You could go farther on your turn. You know, you have your dash action if you want.
I don't want to make it seem like running at them, so I'd rather not dash.
Okay. Tharhun's up.
I guess I'm just gonna stick with the ruse here and keep walking along with everyone else. Hand is on my hilt, though. Maybe I'll utter a spell. Hold on a sec here. Do I have any buffs? Anything useful? No, I guess not. I'll just keep walking along with everyone else.
Okay, we'll move your character how far you want to walk then.
I'll just walk normal speed, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30.
Alright. So, one of these deep gnomes is not stopping from running, and he just starts dashing down further away into the darkness than what Kelnozz can see. The stone creature here seems to tuck itself into a ball, and for a moment it looks to Kelnozz like it's just a normal boulder, but it rolls towards the group.
Oh, that's cool.
To there. And the gnome is going to come up. Alright, so Brynn and Tharhun, you both see this barrel, this boulder seeming to roll towards you, and as it gets about 40-ish feet away from you, it seems to stop and stands back up again into this squat, rock-like creature. It definitely looks like a stone or an earth elemental, but is the size of a regular dwarf, basically. So you guys can both make nature checks to see if you recognize what kind of creature this is. That was supposed to be Tharhun and Brynn. Yeah,
I still have advantage on, so it's actually the previous roll.
So unfortunately, neither of you are very familiar with this, but you're able to surmise that this is an elemental of some sort. The creature, the gnome, speaks in Undercommon and says, "That's far enough, drow. We don't want your ale or any other your tricks. Turn back where you came from."
Ooh.
Ooh. We mean you no harm.
And this
Can't
is
you see
just-
we have enough slaves already?
Other drow. We have our hands full already. Simply just want to pass through.
Perhaps offer to trade one of your slaves to them.
They're not interested in your barter.
Bling Ding Don is no place for slaves or drow. Be gone before we return you to dust. And you can make an insight check. Brynn, Tharhun, and Kelnozz, as you can see.
Oh, not perceiving anything. We're in reading
Insight?
Insight. Tharhun, this creature seems like he's, putting up a very strong face, but actually you can hear fear in his voice. So,
You would be wise not to anger a drow. Perhaps you could just help us, and we'll be on our way.
make a persuasion with disadvantage.
Ah, damn it.
Nailing it.
The creature furrows his brow at you and says, "You think I'm gonna let a drow into Bling Ding Dong?
Bling ding.
Get out of here!"
Bling ding dong.
Bling Ding Dong.
Bling ding dong.
This is a name of a... Actually, Kelnozz, you can make a history check, please, to see what you recall about Bling Ding Dong. Okay. Let's see what I write it down. So Kelnozz, you know that this is a deep gnome settlement that in centuries past was destroyed by the drows in a war, but and for a while the cavern that Bling Ding Dong was known for having monsters and different evil creatures kind of haunting the area, and so for a while nobody went into Bling Ding Dong, but less common knowledge, but something that you're still kind of aware of, is that, in the past few decades, the gnomes have tried to have reclaimed the cavern.
We bring no hostilities to you and your people. We have no value in these lands. Perhaps you can just help us. No further blood needs to be shed.
We don't take kindly to slavers here.
Pick on the skies.
Fuck.
We're simply delivering these slaves to you to help you at your farm.
The deep gnome spits and says, "We are not as dark-hearted as the drow. Gnomes here live free."
But do Halgud? Look how much this man can lift.
He could carry many bright caps by himself. Or blue caps. What is it? Blue cap?
Yes. Blue caps.
I'm beginning to lose my patience with you, deep gnome.
Ask them if there's a way, if they know of a way to the surface and out of their cavern. If they want us to leave, so be it. Let them tell us which way to leave.
We are assembling a raiding party for the surface to kill those foul surface dwellers. Perhaps you are aware of a nearby tunnel that could lead us to the surface. That would get us out of your hair, and you'd never have to see us again.
The gnome's visage seems to harden as you describe your nefarious plans, and it steels itself for battle.
Okay. Before, maybe as I see things turn, can I just try one thing?
Yep.
Fireball.
No, I yell to Grage and Tharhun, now! Get him! And I take Kelnozz from off me and I pin him to the ground. As if it's a slave revolt against their masters.
I run over and like kind of strangle Brynn here. I got him.
Insubordination.
We need your help, gnomes. I don't think we can hold them for long.
We don't want to kill them.
Yeah.
We're not going to get the nose up. We can restrain them. Let us restrain them.
Yes, we'll restrain them. You simply tell us which way to go to bring them to the surface so I can
We need to take
serve them justice. I am a
Okay,
servant of justice and I do
you
that.
guys need to make either a group performance check or a group deception check.
I'm pretty terrible at either of those.
I'm equally
How do
good
we
at
do it?
both. Well, we all do it.
You all-
Bob takes an average.
Yeah, no, it's everyone does it, and if half of you pass, then the whole group passes, and if the half of you fail, the whole group fails.
The persuasion and what?
It's either
Performance and deception.
deception or performance, and everyone has to do the same thing.
So I'm equally bad at both, so I'll let you guys
I've-
decide which one we're doing.
I
Ryan,
have
you
one in
can't.
both.
Nobody can hear you, right?
Turns out here?
Nobody.
No one's reacting to my jokes. And now I understand why.
So many jokes. You had the funniest joke.
So funny.
And do you have any advantage in either of the two?
I'm better at deception than performance.
Alright, deception it is.
Can we roll as well? Because we're sort of selling the fact that they're
Oh yeah,
overpowered.
yeah. No, we need the whole group to do it.
Okay, cool. Here we go, boys.
Oh, Kelnozz, bring it back. Come on, Grage.
Oh, on the swing?
Oh!
I already did it.
Oh, you did. Oh, yeah, you did. 14. As long as the DC's then
Okay.
15.
You hear the gnome. Nobody speaks Terran, right? It's a kind of an exotic language. But you can hear the gnome say something to the creature in a strange language, and he says, "Hold on, Copper One. I will help you." So let's go in some form of initiative here. We'll start with Grage since Eikooc made the call to start this performance. So Grage, these creatures are still approaching your group, while you guys are now kind of engaged in this deception where you're grappling Kelnozz and Brynn. So how do you respond? You can say, essentially do nothing until they get close to you. Or you can go over to Kelnozz and give him a vicious punch just to sell the deal. You know? Or
You
could
can choose to do non-lethal
yeah,
damage.
right.
Or you don't have to do that. You could just,
The damage.
Or just you could perform it.
or you could just say, "I help Eikooc grapple him," for instance. In which case,
You gotta sell it.
Up there. Okay, so I got my one knee is on his back,
On his neck.
and the other hands are taking his wine casks off of his belt.
Not the wine.
Now I know how to hurt this drow.
I assume Kelnozz is not resisting to any of this.
Kelnozz is resisting a little bit, even though he shouldn't be. Like, he should be selling this, but he's like, no.
All right, then make contested athletics.
And I take at least some of the what? For fighting, I have to contest.
If Kelnozz is going to try and stop you from, putting your knee on him and kind of holding him in place, then
No,
You
that's
guys-
okay. It's just when he went to reach for the wine.
okay. In that case, if you're going to try and take the wine, make a sleight of hand check. And Kelnozz, you can
Sleight of
use.
hand, it's brute force, but alright.
Well, it's kind of like a dexterous motion to get it off his belt before he stops you. And let's have a contested roll on Kelnozz's acrobatics or athletics, whichever you like.
Okay, let's do acrobatics.
Go with it, Kelnozz. Let me take your liquor.
No! Anything but the wine.
One step too far.
Son of a bitch.
Alright, so,
Hi.
yeah, a tie. I'm going to
Drop me,
say,
slave.
as you go and grab
Alright,
one of the wine things, he grabs onto it as well.
Okay, and we spill half the contents of one of them.
No!
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Consequences to your actions.
Sorry, Kev, you said it, it's true. Alright, Brynn, you've
A
got
tear falls from Kelnozz's eye.
Single tear.
A line has been crossed.
This can never be forgiven.
Alright, Brynn, what are you
Wear
doing?
another oath to the.
I'm going
To the Spider Queen.
I'm gonna kind of like feign struggling against Tharhun or Tharhun, like
Okay.
he's holding me down, and I'm kind of like,
Very
That's
good.
drow too.
Alright, Tharhun, what are you doing?
I get out some rope and I very loosely
Oh, no.
tie it around his
Tie him up.
wrist
Oh,
behind his back.
no.
But not so much that he couldn't easily escape, just enough that it looks like he's bound. And I say, okay, I've got this one secure.
Make
Now all
a
we need is a way to the surface. And
intelligence check.
then, okay. Intelligence, not save, right? Intelligence check.
Yeah.
So to do
You
that,
know
I
what?
just
Add
click
it.
intelligence.
Yeah, do a intelligence check, but if you are proficient in survival, you can add your proficiency.
I'm not. Oh!
You every time you every time you try and tighten your knot,
0.
you're just unable to tie you're unable to tie anything that even stays on him. Like even if you try to do a perfunctory knot, you tighten it and the rope just comes loose. Like you never actually made a knot. It just the rope just slides between itself.
Ah! Blast! I can't get
We
a
need
grip.
help. We need help, gnomes.
All right. No.
The ultimate irony would be if Tharhun cuts one of our hands off. To bring justice for previous lifetimes of cruelty.
That was my favorite. Eric in a previous life, not this campaign, Scott I think had a cursed gauntlet.
Morgren.
Morgren had a cursed gauntlet on his hand, so I chopped his hand off. And then we threw it in some sand pit or something. Never to be seen again.
It's understandable.
It's a pool of lava.
And surely thereafter, we found someone who could have just cured the curse normally, but we had already cut his hand off.
But then he had like a robot hand after, so
That was
Yeah, it was
every-
really an upgrade. It was
every
a
time he
temporary
used it-
disablement to full upgrade.
Every time he used it, he
Like
had to like roll a dice
choices.
and get like an evil point. So he might have turned evil before you guys found someone to.
he was starting to become evil.
Okay,
So
more
we
importantly,
expected a risk.
is 16 a hit on Brynn?
16 is a miss.
16 is a miss. You see a dart fly by and hit the wall next to you.
Mr. Brynn?
Tharhun, it's getting serious.
Yep,
Firing
the
us.
5, 10, 15, 20, 30. And this thing tucks into a ball as it rolls 30 feet. It's going to take a dash action. Okay, so it is going to just roll up to Brynn, where it unfolds and gets ready to attack. Kelnozz, you're up.
So I have half a flask of wine spilled on me.
I think you're still hasted.
I am still hasted. I guess I'll just sort of feign struggling. Ah, these cursed slaves! We should have killed them when we had the chance, Brynn. Or Brynn.
Hey, you can see that they're starting to attack Brynn.
Yeah, but what can I do about it without breaking?
Arousing suspicion.
Very
The
loose.
suspicion's been aroused.
By the way, this is
Illusion.
the greatest plan that's ever happened.
I
They hate
don't really
us.
know who the
Let's
enemy
double
is now.
down.
Kind of.
I guess I'll just feign the struggle, try to sell it.
Just like us.
How do
every
we?
day.
Oh, hold on. How do we convince them to not kill us?
Bob's not buying it. We just have to kill them.
Yeah.
Well, so far, only one person has really actively tried to talk them down. And it's been a drow. But
But they
Well-
refuse to listen to me.
I can't speak under common. I could try, but I'm going to just end up insulting their mothers. Well, I guess that's what I'll do.
That's true. Maybe, okay, I could shout to them, we're overpowered. We surrender. Perhaps we can work out some sort of arrangement.
is that going to be your turn then, Kelnozz?
That's my action, yeah. I'll shout to the deep gnomes. I'm really selling it. I'm laying it on pretty thick that we're completely overpowered. Mercy! Mercy! My many years of unfair treatment to my workers is finally coming back to me. Should have allowed them to create that union they were talking about earlier.
So you're just going to tell them, like, in
No
words?
regret.
You're just going to say we're going to give up?
Yeah.
But, like, scimitar in hand?
No, I'll like release my weapons on the ground.
Okay.
I have one hand on the flask, and I'll put my scimitar on the ground.
Okay. Alright, so Eikooc, Kelnozz is putting his weapons on the ground, saying he's going to give up.
All right, I'll collect his weapons, and kind of get off him. And
Don't kill me, Halgud. I always treated you more fairly than the others.
I'll turn down the the dark passageway and shout in Undercommon what I think says, he's given up. Stop attacking. We have it under control. But what I actually said was, your mother fucks hamsters. And, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah.
Etc.
Make a
It was
persuasion
quite
check.
What was that, etc.?
Make a persuasion check with disadvantage.
It's just a string of curse words. Like,
Damn you, Kevin, for teaching me fake Undercommon.
it
Persuasion.
really would have come in handy if I taught you real Undercommon, as it turns out.
But it wouldn't have been in your character.
The Deep Gnome looks confused.
As he should.
Grage, you're up.
Don't touch the wine, Grage.
Undercommon. Thought about it. Does a dwarf speak Undercommon?
Probably not, unless you had something in your backstory where you would learn like other languages. and
Dwarves
stuff.
only know Common and Dwarvish automatically, and so from there, we had like you can choose to learn additional languages. And when I was putting together your character, I chose Infernal, so you don't speak Undercommon.
Well, since I can't communicate, I shall slowly load. I think my computer's gonna explode.
This is
Wine
going for more
still.
wine. Okay. All right, go for your opposed roll.
There's very
there.
few actions I can do.
Damn it. Did I have to do sleight of hand as well? No, acrobatics, right?
That's right. If you
Struggle's
choose,
real.
if you're choosing to, resist it.
I can't let you have that.
Ah,
Get off me, great.
it's done.
Luke.
Touch my CD.
All right, Brynn, you're up.
Is the gnome still attacking me?
The strange stone
Or sorry, the
creature
golem?
has come right up to you, and for now looks like it's going to attack you.
Kelnozz has put down his weapons, remember?
Yeah, my weapons are on the ground. You should too, Brynn.
Yeah, I let my short or long sword fall to the ground. And fetal position, like, oh, don't hurt me! Don't hurt me! I meant no harm. Just trying to make a living.
Simple slaver.
I told you we wouldn't make it as slavers, Kelnozz. You talked me into it again. You and that lovely wine of yours.
All right. Okay. So, Brynn, you're gonna put down your weapons and kind of give in to that. That's fine. Tharhun, what's your action?
I will. I will pretend to. I'll give Brynn a wink, and pretend to knock him out.
Ooh.
And yeah. No issue here. I have this one subdued. As long as his master has surrendered, then we should be in control here.
Okay. Make a either a performance or a deception check.
All right.
All right, so you make a motion to knock out Brynn, who falls down as part of the ruse. On the Neatnose's turn, he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, does anybody here speak Gnomish?
Do not.
Right, he says another string of words in a strange language, this time focusing mostly on Tharhun. And you can tell from his intonation that is a question, but since no one here knows Gnomish, nobody understands what he's saying. And this creature is going to roll up in a ball again. Go 5 feet, 15 feet.
Okay. I need to surrender my flask, apparently.
25 feet. Ooh. 30. It is rolling towards Kelnozz, and it can't get there in time, so it's just going to stop here, hovering, or just below where Vims is hovering before it stops. It is looking like it's now moving towards Kelnozz. But the gnome just says what those words to Tharhun and seems to stop and listen and wait for a response, whereas the elemental seems to move on. I'm going to assume Brynn and Tharhun, you both had opportunities to do attacks of opportunity there. Are you going to take them?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. I think I'm gonna continue with the ruse.
In the off chance this might actually work, we might as well see it through.
Right, the gnome, seeing that you're not understanding Tharhun, gestures towards Brynn's weapons.
Don't let him take the weapons.
Oh yes, I should secure these. I pick them up and like put them on my back and make sure that Brynn can't get them. And I nod to the gnome.
The gnome looks over to the group holding Kelnozz. What's Kelnozz doing?
Kelnozz is completely surrendered.
Kelnozz, tell these... I walk up to Kelnozz kind of threateningly, and I say, we're in charge now. Tell these guys that you enslaved us from the surface world, and we wish to take you back there so you can face our justice.
Ooh,
Does he know of a way out that we could use to do that?
that's such a good backstory.
I know, right? Make sure you tell him good.
It's really good. All right, so I explain all of that to the deep gnome in a very, I explain that I kidnapped them from their families. They all had young families that are certainly missing them in the surface world, and there's a very strict code of criminal justice up there, and I'm so regretful of all the mistakes I've made throughout my life.
The gnome looks at you with a hardened gaze as you tell him all these things. And just for clarity, how is Brynn acting here? For instance, are you keeping this disguise up?
I'm keeping the disguise going, yeah.
Okay. The creature looks sternly at you, Kelnozz, and says, hold on, I'm just finding the right section here. He says, Dasko will decide. No drow will be led into Bling Ding Dong, but Drasko will decide if what is done with your prisoners, with you prisoners. Tell your friends to hand over your weapons to the Galabdur. And the creature, the rock creature, puts its arms out next to Eikooc and seems to be waiting for something to be placed in his arms.
I feel much more comfortable if one of you guys grab the weapons instead.
And
Yeah, I already have yours. Say again, Bob?
Eikooc is, you probably got like snippets of that, like you probably heard the word weapon.
I'm gonna say I've got. I gesture like, no, I've got it. I'm good. I can hold this.
The deep gnome frowns and says, if you want deep gnome help, you must obey our rules. No prisoner can come unless we hold his weapons.
I'll translate for everyone else.
So how about this? I give the creature my hand axe, and I take Kelnozz's weapon as my own. And I show the weapon, be like, and I poke Kelnozz with it a couple times to show that I just want to like spite him a little with his own weapon.
A really nice hand axe.
Creature gives it back and says, how I know this is no drought trick.
Well, I don't speak your language.
Surely you can see that we've been completely overpowered here. You think I, for a moment, would let these filthy dwarves take my prized possessions away? I spit on the ground. Ah, dwarves, elves, Halgud.
I smack Kelnozz twice in the face, and I take his wine cask. Drink it all in front of him.
Roll an attack with advantage.
Blood feud.
The gnome also.
So
I
I
see
roll with advantage.
Yeah. The gnome also strikes out at Kelnozz as he starts speaking, but Kelnozz is able to dodge away from a kind of a feeble attack. Grage is going to roll his attack though, right?
With advantage.
You just have to click the unarmed strike button.
Can I use my performance to really sell this? Or is he actually hitting me? In which case I could do just sort of like a natural reaction to it. Either way, I want it to look really punishing.
Are you lagging, Eric? Are you okay?
I got nothing from Eric.
We might have lost him.
Okay, well, either way, we'll say he hits you, and it's not as fake as you'd like. The Neep Gnome reiterates and says, if you want Neep Gnome help, we must know it is safe. I take you to Drasko, or you go back where you came.
Well, I'm sure this Drasko fellow is a reasonable creature.
I can continue to translate, right? Like they wouldn't be suspicious. I've made it clear that I've surrendered, like I'm not putting up a fight anymore. And in the interest of pretending that Grage, so Grage doesn't kill me, I'm like translating for everybody. Would you allow that?
Right.
You're certainly translating, but it's going to be tough for you to shake off the suspicion from a deep gnome.
Gotcha. Drow prejudice?
Especially since you've been playing up the whole evil drow part instead of the opposite.
True. Okay, well at least everyone can understand what's happening. Like I'll continue to translate without sort of giving up plan.
Hand over your weapons to the Galabdur. Oof.
He's dead. Can't translate.
With authority.
Go ahead and roll the damage there.
No performance required.
So 8 non-lethal bludgeoning damage.
Use a key point.
So my face is bloodied.
The Galabdur again puts his hands out, expecting the weapons to be placed there.
He didn't like me trying to give him my hand axe.
He did not.
You can see what happens.
Well, okay, I guess give him Kelnozz's flaming sword. And I attach my my hand axe loosely to my back, in reach of Kelnozz.
Kelnozz, are you gonna give over all your weapons?
Yeah.
All visible weapons.
You are unwilling to give up your longsword. You will not willingly
My
part
Blade
with
of
it.
the Medusa?
That's right.
Because it's attuned, I guess?
Nope.
Ooh.
Got its grip on you.
Just bash him.
It's actually cursed.
Maybe it's cursed. Didn't we identify them?
Identify does not identify curses. Otherwise, you'd never find a curse, right? Because you just identify everything.
We should just run a test with all items we get and try and drop them all at the end of the day.
I'm actually really sad that you had to find
Yeah.
out that way.
What's that?
I'm really sad that he had to find out that way. Because, anyway, you'll find out later how the curse works. But you will not give up that sword.
Well, we'll have to keep bashing him.
Okay, so I just like hold on to it. Does it look like I'm trying to give it up, but I can't? Like, of all the deception I've done in the last
It's
15
like,
minutes.
it's like when Bilbo was trying to give up the rig,
Right.
right? You're basically, as you do it, your thought is, why should I do this? I don't want to do this. This is a great sword. Like, you're not necessarily visibly torn about it. A magical influence comes over you and changes your emotions.
It's my precious. I can't give it up.
That's trademarked. You'll have to say something else.
It's a fine blade. What's the little rock guy do?
Mm,
Well, we just have to steal from him. Like, he doesn't have to give it up willingly.
I see.
that's
Well-
a good point.
I guess you guys could just bludgeon me unconscious.
That's an option.
Don't have to ask me twice.
Wait. Save some of that for me. I have a little bit of pent up
We all
disdain
just
here.
gonna start beating on Kelnozz.
Now's your chance.
Yes,
Get us
all in the name
started.
of the plan and so forth.
All right, so
The ultimate cathartic release for all of the shit I've done.
Grage, you rolled with your unarmed strike there. You can use that attack to try and disarm Kelnozz. Kelnozz just needs to make an opposed athletic check.
Do your best, Kelnozz.
Athletics?
Yes.
Ah.
Right, not even
Disarm.
close. Yeah.
Oh, that's my blade. It's mine. It belongs to me.
A few moments
Sit
later,
your ass down, slaver.
you can see that, and you can hear thump, thump, thump as about 6 more deep gnomes trudge into view on the road, followed by a large earth elemental. And this gnome starts speaking to them in Undercommon, explaining that these drow were escorting a group of slaves who then had a revolt and have captured the drow. And the Galabdur has Kelnozz's weapons. He's in the process of going over to collect Brynn's weapons. And explains the scenario about, and you hear the word Drasco a couple times. Brynn gonna give over all his weapons.
Um,
I'm cutting out there, Ryan.
can you hear me now?
Yep.
Can you
Uh,
even
Tharhun
know?
Tharhun put my weapons on his back. He's disarmed me, or attempted to disarm me.
Well, do you have any other visible weapons on you?
No? Unless this sort of polymorph is also cursed, in which case it remained concealed and you never knew it was there.
It could very well be cursed as well.
Ryan, you are unwilling to part with that sword.
Oh my god.
Polymorph
And
blade
I don't know of a good way of concealing a long sword, so...
in my pants.
Well, Brynn, you've come this far. I'll just put you in a sleeper hold and... Actually, wait, aren't you already unconscious? Didn't I knock your ass down? Oh, but that was fake.
Yeah, we were pretending.
Okay.
I wasn't actually getting a beatdown like Kelnozz was.
Well,
Tharhun was much more reasonable and
Is someone going to... Are you going to disarm Brynn, or...
yeah, I'll disarm Brynn.
Okay, make an attack.
Attack roll?
Yeah.
Alright, here it comes. I'll just do Great Sword.
Okay.
Ah.
An opposed athletics check.
against my athletics.
You roll athletics, and you're trying to beat 22.
22. No way.
Alright, so Tharhun is able to knock the long sword out of Brynn's hands as he refuses to give it up. And the deep gnomes move in. A couple of them have iron manacles,
Ugh.
and they go and attach it to Brynn. After a moment of putting the iron shackles on you, Kelnozz, you can hear the gnomes say that they recognize that this is not a drow. That Brynn seems to be a different kind of elf. But they lock him up anyway.
The jig is up.
And they apply the manacles to Kelnozz. And they start walking your group down the road with the earth elementals tagging behind the manacled Kelnozz and Brynn. And we will pick up from there next week.
Ooh.
This drow